Once upon a time, hidden in a valley surrounded by soft rolling hills, lay a quiet, sleepy village called Willowmere. It was a place where every morning seemed to stretch lazily into the afternoon, and every evening wrapped around the villagers like a warm blanket. Willowmere was known far and wide for its magical twilight, where the sky turned a delicate shade of lavender, casting a peaceful glow over the little cottages, cobblestone paths, and the gentle stream that flowed through the village center. At the edge of Willowmere, tucked away beneath a grand old willow tree, was a small house belonging to a kind-hearted cat named Mallow. Mallow was known as the Dreamweaver cat, with her silvery, soft fur and bright emerald eyes, had a talent for spinning dreams into stories that soothed everyone who heard them. Each evening, Mallow would curl up by her window and tell stories to the stars, knowing they would carry her dreams to the sleepy minds of everyone in Willowmere. One evening, as the lavender sky deepened into shades of midnight blue, Mallow prepared for her nightly storytelling. She sat on a cushioned seat by the window, surrounded by cozy blankets and a little teapot that let out gentle puffs of lavender-scented steam. The sky was clear, and stars began to dot the sky, their twinkling reflections shimmering in the nearby stream. Mallow took a deep breath and began her story soft and slow, letting her words float through the air like gentle puffs of dandelion seeds. Once Mallow began, there was a little star named Luna who lived far, far away in the night sky. Luna wasn't like the other stars. How they twinkled and shined contentedly in their places, Luna longed for an adventure. She wondered what it would be like to drift through the skies to see the world beneath her, and perhaps to bring her light somewhere new. Each night, as the other stars sparkled and sang their celestial songs, Luna would look down at the earth and dream of exploring its forests, rivers, and mountains. One night, as Luna gazed down with her usual curiosity, she saw something that made her heart flutter, a tiny firefly dancing in the dark, casting a warm glow as it drifted over a meadow. Oh, how wonderful it would be to dance in the air like that, Luna whispered to herself. And as if her wish had reached the stars' ears, something magical happened. Luna felt herself begin to drift, floating gently downwards like a falling feather, moving softly through the night sky until she touched down in the very meadow she had seen. The firefly, whose name was Flick, noticed Luna's soft glow and zipped over to greet her. "Hello there," Flick buzzed in a friendly, gentle tone. "You must be the brightest firefly I've ever seen." "Oh, I'm not a firefly," Luna replied, her voice a soft shimmer. "I'm a star, and I've come down to see the world below." Flick's eyes widened, and he gave a delighted laugh. "A star visiting our meadow? Well then, let me show you all the wonders of this place." Flick led Luna through the quiet meadow, pointing out the beauty of the dew-kissed grass, the fragrance of wildflowers, and the gentle song of crickets in the distance. Luna's heart filled with joy as she twinkled alongside her new friend, feeling the soft earth beneath her for the first time. Together, they floated to a pond nearby, its surface so still that it looked like a mirror reflecting the heavens. Luna gazed into the water and saw herself sparkling beside Flick, the firefly's warm glow beside her silver one. For the first time, she realized how her light made the world around her a little brighter. As the night wore on, Flick led Luna up a small hill where they could see the whole meadow stretching out below, glowing faintly in the moonlight. "Do you ever feel lonely up in the sky?" Flick asked. Luna thought for a moment, a soft shimmer passing through her. "Sometimes," she admitted, "but now I feel as if a piece of the world is a part of me, and when I return to the sky, I'll carry this meadow, this pond, and your light with me." Flick smiled and gave her a tiny nod. "Then let's make this night one to remember, so you'll always have a bit of our meadow in your heart." As the first hint of dawn began to color the sky, Luna knew it was time to return. She rose gently, drifting upward as if carried by a gentle breeze. Flick watched her go, his light pulsing warmly as he waved goodbye. When Luna reached her place in the heavens once more, she looked down at the meadow below, which now glowed in the early light of dawn. And there, just above the horizon, she left a bit of her own sparkle, a soft, glowing reminder of her night in the meadow. Every morning after that, the villagers of Willowmere would wake to find the softest star in the sky still twinkling, as if to say, "Good morning, dear friends. I'm watching over you." And in Willowmere, on peaceful nights, Mallow the Dreamweaver cat would share Luna's story. As the villagers drifted to sleep, they knew that somewhere in the sky was a star that held a little bit of their world in her heart, always shining, always always watching. At that, Mallow closed her eyes, and so did all the villagers of Willowmere. As they fell into gentle, dream-filled slumber, their hearts warm with the glow of Luna's memory. The Whispering Woods and the Owl of Secrets. Once upon a time, nestled in a quiet corner of the world, there was an ancient forest called the Whispering Woods. The trees in this forest were tall and wise, with branches that swayed gently in the breeze, and leaves that whispered to each other in voices only a few could understand. The forest was alive with secrets as old as time itself. In the heart of the Whispering Woods lived a little owl named Ollie. Ollie was no ordinary owl. He was the keeper of secrets, entrusted with all the wishes, dreams, and stories shared by the creatures who called the woods their home. Every evening as dusk settled, Ollie would perch on the tallest branch of the grand oak tree and listen carefully, his eyes wide and his heart open to every sound around him. One soft autumn evening, as Ollie settled in his favorite spot, he noticed something unusual. A faint, shimmering light danced through the trees below him as if it were searching for something. Curious, Ollie swooped down silently to investigate. There, among the tall ferns and mossy stones, he found a tiny firefly who looked a bit lost. "Hello, little firefly," Ollie greeted warmly. "What brings you here on this fine evening?" The firefly blinked its tiny light in response and said, "Oh, wise owl, I've traveled from far away, and I'm looking for a special wish. I heard that the Whispering Woods might hold the answer." Ollie's feathers ruffled with interest. "A special wish, you say? Well, you've come to the right place. This forest is filled with the magic of dreams and secrets." Ollie then settled comfortably and asked the firefly to share its wish. The firefly took a deep breath, its tiny light glowing brighter as it spoke. "I want to shine brighter than any star in the sky, so that I can light up the forest and help everyone find their way at night. But I'm so small, and my light only flickers. I fear I'm just not strong enough." Ollie listened carefully, nodding with understanding. He knew that sometimes the smallest creatures held the biggest dreams. "Your wish is beautiful," Ollie said gently, "and it's a brave one, too. But perhaps you don't need to shine like a star. Maybe instead, the forest can help you light the way." Ollie spread his wings and led the little firefly deeper into the forest. They flew past sleeping squirrels, resting foxes, and curled-up hedgehogs, until they reached a clearing surrounded by the tallest trees in the woods. The clearing was illuminated by hundreds of tiny mushrooms glowing softly in shades of green, blue, and purple, a hidden treasure of the Whispering Woods. "Watch closely," Ollie whispered. "There is magic here." As the firefly watched, Ollie closed his eyes and let out a soft hoot that seemed to echo throughout the forest. At his call, the trees began to hum in harmony, their branches swaying in rhythm. The leaves sparkled as they caught the moonlight, and one by one, the forest creatures stirred, their eyes catching the gentle glow from the mushrooms. The firefly's light began to shine brighter as it joined in the rhythm of the woods, and soon every creature in the forest, from the tiniest ant to the tallest deer, had gathered in the clearing, their eyes glistening with warmth. Together, their lights created a soft, glowing circle, bright enough to light up even the darkest corners of the forest. The little firefly looked around in awe. It didn't have to shine alone, the whole forest was with it, sharing their light and creating a path that would guide every creature safely through the night. With a grateful heart, the firefly turned to Ollie. "Thank you, wise owl," it whispered. "I thought I needed to be the brightest light, but now I see that together we're brighter than any single star." Ollie nodded, his heart warm. "As the magic of the Whispering Woods," he said softly. "No one has to shine alone here." And so, every night after that, Ollie and the little firefly would meet in the clearing, along with all the forest creatures, creating a glowing circle of warmth and light. They became the guardians of the Whispering Woods, and their light guided every creature safely home through the rustling trees and the quiet, moonlit paths. From that night on, if you ever wandered into the Whispering Woods after dusk, you'd find yourself surrounded by a soft, gentle glow, one that felt like a hug from the forest itself. As if it were whispering, "You're never alone." The secret garden of Starlight Creek, in a tiny, tucked-away village named Brightfield. Wild flowers grew as tall as hedges and rivers sparkled in the moonlight. There was a place whispered about only in the quietest hours, a hidden garden known as Starlight Creek. Starlight Creek was no ordinary garden. It was said to hold flowers that bloomed only at night and to shimmer under the moon, like 1,000 stars scattered across the earth. Young Ava, a curious little girl with a heart full of wonder, had heard tales of the garden her whole life. Every story told of the same thing, flowers that glowed in magical colors and a gentle creek that sang soft lullabies to all who visited. Ava had always dreamed of finding Starlight Creek, but no one seemed to know where it was. Some said it was hidden behind the tallest hill, while others claimed it could only be found by following the light of fireflies. On a warm summer night, one evening as the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars blinked into the sky, Ava felt a tug of adventure in her heart. She grabbed a small lantern and set off through the fields. Guided by the twinkling of fireflies and the hum of crickets, she walked through meadows and crossed tiny streams, her eyes wide with excitement as she wandered further from home than she ever had before. Just as she began to think Starlight Creek might be only a story, Ava noticed a faint glow coming from the edge of the woods. Her heart skipped a beat. She followed the light, her footsteps soft as she made her way between the trees. And then, as if the forest itself had parted to let her through, she stepped into a clearing bathed in silver moonlight. Ava gasped and found it the secret garden of Starlight Creek. Before her stretched a garden unlike anything she had ever seen. Flowers with petals like tiny lanterns bloomed in shades of soft blue, lavender, and silver, casting a magical glow across the clearing. In the center of the garden flowed a gentle creek, its water sparkling with flecks of light. As the stars had fallen into the water, Ava wandered through the garden, her lantern forgotten as she took in the beauty around her. She leaned over the creek and dipped her fingers in the cool, shimmering water, which felt like silk and seemed to hum softly as if it were singing to her. The sound was so peaceful, so warm, that Ava felt as though the creek itself was welcoming her. As she walked among the glowing flowers, Ava noticed a beautiful silver lily unlike any of the others. Its petals sparkled in the moonlight, and nestled inside was a tiny glowing orb. She reached out, and as she gently touched the lily, the orb rose from the flower, hovering in front of her like a little star. "Welcome, Ava," a voice as soft as the creek song whispered. Startled, Ava looked around but saw no one. Then she realized the voice was coming from the tiny orb, which glowed brighter with each word. "I am the guardian of Starlight Creek," the orb continued. "You have a kind heart and a curious spirit, and because of this, the garden has called you here." Ava smiled, her heart filled with warmth and wonder. "The garden is even more beautiful than I imagined," she whispered. "But why did it choose me?" "Starlight Creek chooses those who dream of magic and believe in the beauty of the unknown," the guardian replied. "And you, Ava, have brought joy to this place simply by seeing it with such wonder. Now, Starlight Creek will always be with you." As the guardian spoke, the flowers around Ava began to glow even brighter, and the creek shimmered like never before. She felt a tingling warmth spread through her as if she were filling with starlight. She knew that even after she left, a part of this magic would always be with her. Eventually, the moon rose high above, and Ava knew it was time to return home. The guardian floated back to its silver lily, and as Ava left, she noticed a soft glow following her, lighting her path back through the woods. She took one last look at the magical garden, feeling grateful and enchanted by the experience. When she returned to Brightfield, she found that the garden's light had left a gentle sparkle in her heart. From that day forward, whenever she felt lonely or uncertain, Ava would close her eyes, and she'd feel the soft, silvery light of Starlight Creek warming her, reminding her that the magic of the garden was always with her. And though she never spoke of it to anyone else, Ava would sometimes return to the forest, following the light of the fireflies, and find her way back to the secret garden of Starlight Creek. There, in the quiet of the night, she'd listen to the creek's lullaby and remember that there was magic all around her, as long as she believed.